Welcome back once again, all of my low carb friends, and for those of you who are here for the first time, welcome. Today I have another very easy keto dessert recipe for you. Today I am going to show you how to make simple keto cookie dough balls. These are so good. They kind of almost remind me of the coconut truffles that my mom used to make when I was a teenager. These are super good, super easy, and if you want a printable version of this recipe, you can check out my website at janetsdeliciouslowcarbkitchen.com. You can find a printable version of this recipe and other goodies there for you. And if you're new to the channel and you want to see lots of easy, delicious, low-carb keto recipes, make sure you click that subscribe button and click the notification bell that's right next to the subscribe button. That way you can be notified every time I put out videos every Wednesday and Saturday. And if you'd like to help support the channel, make sure you scroll down in the description of the video. You'll see some affiliate links. Anytime you purchase anything using those affiliate links, a small portion of your purchase will go to me and help support the channel. So while you do all that, let's get cooking. Line a large baking sheet with parchment paper and set it aside for a minute. In a large mixer bowl, combine a half cup of very soft room temperature butter. Make sure this is very soft but not melted. You just want it soft enough so that when you mix it together with the other ingredients, it blends together easily. Add 67 grams or around 1/3 cup of the granulated sweetener of your choice. I'm using granulated monk fruit sweetener. You can use whatever granulated sweetener you want. You can also adjust this more or less depending on how sweet you want your cookie dough. Beat the butter and sweetener together on low for about 10 seconds or just until they start combining a little bit. Then increase the speed to medium and beat on medium for around 3 to 4 minutes or until the mixture is fluffy. Now, if you don't have a standing mixer, you can use a hand mixer. It just might take you closer to 4 minutes rather than 3 minutes. If you don't have a standing mixer or a hand mixer, you can do this with a wooden spoon, but it's going to take a lot more elbow grease. Just kind of have to beat the butter and the sweetener around in your mixing bowl until it becomes nice and smooth. After 3 to 4 minutes and your sweetener and butter are fluffy, scrape down the sides of the bowl and push the butter mixture to the center of the bowl. Add 12 grams or around 1 tablespoon of vanilla extract. You can adjust this more or less depending on how much of a vanilla flavor you want in your cookie dough. You can also change this extract if you want a different flavor in your cookie dough. Add a 1/4 teaspoon of salt. Beat everything together on low for just a couple seconds, just until the vanilla and salt start combining. Then increase your speed to medium and beat on medium for about another 20-30 seconds, just until everything is fully combined. Again, scrape down the sides of the bowl and push the mixture to the center of the bowl. Reduce the speed on your mixer to low and gradually add in 75 grams or around 2/3 cup of coconut flour. Make sure you just do this gradually in small amounts so that it mixes in evenly and smoothly. Once the coconut flour is all added, then increase your speed to medium again and beat on medium for another 20 seconds or so, just to make sure that the coconut flour is fully combined and that you have a smooth, creamy mixture. And again, scrape down the sides of the bowl and push everything to the center of the bowl. Once again, turn your mixer onto low and gradually add in 76 grams or around 5 tablespoons of the room temperature milk of your choice. Now, exactly how much milk of choice you're going to need depends on the density of your coconut flour. If you have a more dense coconut flour, you may need to add another tablespoon of the milk of your choice. What you're looking for is everything to be fully combined and that you have a smooth, creamy dough that's forming. Once your milk has been fully added and you have a smooth dough that's starting to form, then increase your speed to medium and beat on medium for another 20 to 30 seconds or until everything is fully combined and you have a smooth, lightly moist dough. And again, scrape down the sides of the bowl and push your ingredients to the center of the bowl. Then form your dough into a smooth ball. Massage the dough ball in your hands for just around 20 to 30 seconds. This is just to make sure you have a good texture of your dough. Your dough should be very smooth and more of a creamy type texture. If it seems like it's dry and crumbly and it's not holding its shape well, then just add very small amounts more of the milk of your choice until it holds its shape well. Once you're sure of the texture, then form the dough back into a ball and place it back into your mixer bowl. Then use a wooden spoon and break up your dough just a little bit. Gradually fold in about 40 grams or around a 1/4 cup of the Keto chocolate chips of choice. I'm using Lily's chocolate chips. You can use whatever chocolate chips you want to, or you can substitute out the chocolate chips for any add-ins of your choice. Once your add-ins have been folded in and they're evenly distributed throughout the dough, scoop the dough out 1 to 2 tablespoons at a time onto your prepared baking sheet. Now, how big or small you want your cookie dough balls is entirely up to you. I just use a traditional cookie dough scoop, which is a little bit over 1 tablespoon. It's probably closer to 1.5 tablespoons of cookie dough. Once your dough has been scooped out, then take the dough scoops one at a time in your hands and roll each scoop into a tight, smooth ball. Make sure the ball is nice and smooth, no cracks, and then place the ball back onto your baking sheet. Now, just for clarification here, we are not going to be baking this at all. So for those of you who are afraid of raw cookie dough and have heard all kinds of horror stories about raw cookie dough, you do not have to worry about any of those things that you might have heard when it comes to coconut flour cookie dough. Traditional wheat flour cookie dough, you do not want to ever eat that raw because most whiter wheat flours have not been heat treated to kill off any bacteria. Coconut flour, on the other hand, the coconut meat that is used to make coconut flour has to be heat treated and dehydrated before they can even grind it into flour. So it's already been heat treated and killed off any bacteria. Basically, when you're eating coconut flour, it's basically the same as eating extremely finely ground coconut flakes. So as long as you're not using eggs in your cookie dough, it is just fine to eat it raw. So just clarify that so I don't get people in the comments yelling at me for eating raw cookie dough. So once your dough is all scooped out, rolled into tight, smooth balls, place the dough balls in your freezer and freeze them for at least 1 hour. This is not going to freeze them solid, but it is going to make them very firm. After 1 hour, remove the dough balls from the freezer. Now you can just leave them just as they are and eat them just as they are without any coating or anything on it. But me personally, I like to put some chocolate on the outside. So if you're like me and wanting to put the chocolate on the outside, right before you take your dough balls out of the freezer, place 6 ounces of Keto chocolate chips in a wide microwave-safe bowl. Add 2 grams or around a half teaspoon of coconut oil. Then microwave on high for about 30 seconds or just until the chips and oil start melting together. Then use a fork and stir the chips and the oil together. And continue to microwave on high in 15 to 20 second intervals until the chips are fully melted. Make sure you use a fork and stir after every 15 to 20 second interval so that your chips don't burn and so that you can get them to be nice and smooth. Now, if you don't want to melt these in the microwave, you can always melt these on your stove top in a double boiler or over very low heat. Once the chocolate's smooth, remove your cookie dough balls from the freezer. Then place the dough balls one at a time into the melted chocolate. Use a spoon and pour the chocolate over the dough balls until they're completely coated with the chocolate. If you need to, you can use a toothpick or a fork to roll the dough ball around a little bit. That way it's not so messy on your fingers. Once the dough ball is completely coated with the chocolate, then use a toothpick or a couple of forks and remove the dough ball from the chocolate and place it back onto your lined baking sheet. Make sure it is lined. Continue doing the dipping and coating process of the dough balls until all the dough balls are completely coated with the chocolate and back onto your lined baking sheet. Place the dough balls in your refrigerator and let them chill for at least 20 minutes or until the chocolate is firm. After 20 minutes, remove the dough balls from your refrigerator. You can eat them immediately. If you do have any leftovers, store them in an airtight container in your refrigerator for up to 5 days, or put them in a freezer-safe container and freeze them for up to 3 months. Eat and enjoy. And that's our recipe of the day. I hope you enjoyed it. If you did and you want to see more videos like this, make sure you click that thumbs up like button, click that subscribe button, leave me a comment if you want to. Let me know if there's any recipes that you'd like to learn how to make, and I'll do what I can to get those out there for you. And as always, keep cooking.